record on this computer. All right, perfect. And we are going. So, guys, welcome. Men's Weekly Zoom. This is our sixth Zoom that we've had. We have Ambassador Diamond Josh Pearl on with us tonight, which I'm super pumped about. I actually, small story, which I'll kind of let him tell it. But I did not know that Josh is actually my ambassador upline. So very, very interesting. And we found out, and yeah, it's kind of long story short in it. But Josh, you just want to kind of start off telling your story a little bit, kind of, you know, you don't got to go full in detail with it. And then we'll just kind of get right into questions and whatnot. And yeah, take it away, bro.
Sounds good. Yeah, so my story is a little lengthy because I wasn't the one that joined this business. It was actually my wife. She joined without telling me anything about it. And right off the bat, I had a bad taste with the whole network marketing idea or, you know, the pyramid scheme, whatever. And then I also was against supplements or a body wrap, any type of an aid for losing weight or whatever. I thought if you wanted to get healthy, that meant get to the gym and eat healthier, you know? So I was kind of a jerk about the whole thing, truthfully. Everything fine with sound? Am I freezing or is it working out here?
You're sounding okay. You're sounding all right. It's just, it's a tad, like every now and then we get kind of like the Matrix noise.
Shoot.
There you go. I'm good.
I'll keep rolling. So, bottom line, yeah, I gave Crystal hell for about 6 months, and she didn't much care what I had to say. She was just more stubborn and was so caught up in her vision and the big dream and everything she was being filled up with and inspired by with the people she'd met in this company that she didn't care what I really had to say. Bottom line, yes, Johnny says keep it short with the story. I got to an event after she became presidential, you know, so she'd show me some pretty big paychecks along the way. And I was just like, dude, when do we got to give this money back? What's the catch? Is this illegal? Because I mean, we're double, you know, there's 2 freaking digits I imagined in my life. But either way, once I'd seen that, I was willing to get to an event and figure out what this whole thing was about, kind of see who's behind this thing, what's it all about. So got to an event and I met the big thing for me was meeting real people in the business, meeting some other people that I could relate with and, just kind of hearing their story. And then seeing corporate and understanding, that they were good, normal people also. This wasn't some scheme or it wasn't, you know, any type of a joke. You know, there was no joke here. This is a real freaking deal. So once I caught the vision, I started working the biz with her. You know, I didn't want to promote something that I didn't believe in. So yeah, once my belief was there, I was telling everybody about it. Fast forward 2 years ago, I was a Minneapolis pipe fitter for 10 years. So good paying job, great pay, great benefits. Thought I had her all together. Super excited about my job. A proud pipe fitter, all that whole thing. But 2 years ago, I stepped away from my job as a pipe fitter and joined in full force with Crystal. And we went just balls to the walls, decided we're going to go to top in this business or whatever. So we weren't going to let anything stop us. Sound okay still? We're doing all right? Am I froze, Johnny?
You're muted, Johnny. We can't hear you, brother. You're muted.
There you go. Perfect. I've been able to hear you fine. I'm sorry. That's my fault. I muted myself, not even thinking over here. Yeah, definitely.
We're doing all right?
You're doing good, bro. I can hear everything.
Awesome. I just don't want to be frozen. I don't want to be frozen and continue on talking to myself here.
Yeah, sure. No,
so yeah, you know, so I guess, yeah, once my belief was there, I dove in, and the big picture was you know, the belief was everything, and then belief in yourself. So I found out about the personal growth journey. You know, this business is a personal development plan with a compensation plan attached. So watching what this business has done to my wife was such an emotional roller coaster for me to watch my wife become a strong, confident woman through this business. Powerful leader, just somebody to look up to, you know, phenomenal leader or whatever. So I was like, what the heck is this all about? You know, where did that come from? And it was the personal development journey. So I dove in. I was just obsessed with this idea of personal development, becoming a better person, and living to inspire others and pushing other people to become more or whatever. So I started doing the follow the leader thing. It's okay to copy the right cat, right? So who inspires me, and dig into their story a bit more. So yeah, in the past couple of years, that's been my big deal, is just personal development and pushing people to be their best, and going after big goals, goals that were unimaginable at one time. So, and we did, like the ambassador thing. I stepped away from my job, and the next year we went ambassador because massive action happened. So it was an amazing, amazing ride. There's plenty to say about it, but absolutely phenomenal. So I couldn't be happier to be where we're at. Super pumped.
That's awesome. Dude, I love you guys' story. Yeah, man. And that does, it shows the importance of events. Guys, we gotta get to events. Gotta get to events. That's where it happened for me. It happened at an event. And that's the key. You get to an event, you see the stories, you talk to the people, you see that it's real. You see they're real people. They're in same situation that you're in, and you relate to somebody, and you just look at them, yo, man, if you can do it, I can do it. What's to stop? There's no difference. And you go up and you actually talk to these people, and you see that it's not like a celebrity that's just like, yeah, okay, who are you? Get out of my face. No, these people are genuine. They care. They want to help you, and that's that was huge for me. So I will totally agree with you on that. So Josh, what do you feel is one mistake you notice that new distributors make when they first get started with the business?
Well, I think more times than not, I think distributors join because they get excited for the moment. Then they hop in and decide to keep their business a secret. Look at the big picture there. What happens if you come into this business, jump into it, and you keep it a secret? Your network, your friends, family, they're all looking at you like, wow, they joined this thing, but they jumped in and closed their doors right away. There can't be anything too amazing about these products, so there can't be anything too amazing about this company or whatever that they're supposedly excited about. So when you jump into something, when are you most excited about a new car? It's when you drive it off the lot, right? It's like that moment you jump in it, turn the key, and you're just pumped, like, holy balls, I'm in a new car. So here you are, you jump into this new business that you're supposedly excited about that has phenomenal products. There should never be a moment that you're more excited about than when you first jump in. Like, there's so much to learn. And there's so much unknown, there's so much to be excited about. So just jump in and show your excitement. The people that become successful in this business are the ones that maintain their excitement, that are consistent, right? So if you jump in, show that excitement. So that's the number one mistake we see. Next to that, it's just so important. You can't teach somebody that already knows it all. So, and that's what your leader is assuming, is that you know it all if you're not asking questions, because we can't reach out to you and say, hey, how you doing today? Or blah, 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 blah. We can't read your mind if you have questions. So you need to be in contact with, an upline or a sideline or somebody popping questions. You got to be draining what's on your mind, whatever your holdback is. So yeah, definitely ask as many questions as possible. So so that's the next one would be new distributors that join and then go dead silent, and then they think, it just must not have been for me. Well, how do they know it wasn't for them? Yeah, a couple major problems with new DTs that come in.
The silence thing, I think, is huge. Yeah, you almost you want to catch them. I refer to it kind of as the honeymoon phase. You want to catch them in that honeymoon phase when they're most excited about it. You want to get them to where they're going. They're now. They want it. Get them. Don't wait for that kit to come in. Get them pushed. Get them going. Because we wait too long, and then them excuses turn into procrastination. Yeah. Procrastination's a dream killer, man. While we were talking about it, while we're on the topic, the importance of a mentor.
Yep.
Can you touch on the importance of a mentor?
Okay, yeah. So you need to have direction. You want to display your own character, but you need to have somebody that is getting it done that you can follow, and then put your twist on it, put a taste of who you are into it or whatever. So when this whole thing came about for me, that I'm going to jump into this business with Crystal, and I'd seen that, she grew, probably 98, 99% of her business on Facebook. I'd already seen that there was success there, so I needed to dive into it. The importance of a mentor it's what drives success. Success leaves clues. Copy the blueprints that have already been laid. So I dove into the social media side of it or whatever, Facebook, and I'm no social media whiz, but that was, first spot. Like I'm gonna dive into this and see who's getting it done on social media or whatever, and then just kind of, do what they do, but put your own twist on it. And then next to that, so that's the business side of it or whatever, copying people in the business or figuring out what they're doing in the business, put your own twist on it there. The next was like, the personal development mentors. You look at it and it's like, a lot of times you get done with listening to something or reading something, you're like, man, that's amazing stuff, but all they're really doing is telling their story. So we need to figure out how to relate what they're saying to our story. Where did this come from? What's their past all about? Why, how did they come up with what they came up with, this amazing stuff that they come up with time after time or whatever. So it was really just relating everything I was hearing to my life in that personal development journey, and then displaying that, all this knowledge that we learn or take in, or, everything that we take in from our mentors, we got to share that with others, because knowledge just sitting there in your noggin is actually useless. It's not until it goes to work that it's actually useful. So, but yeah, definitely gotta have somebody that's getting it done to follow.
I agree with that. What's your favorite book? Your favorite self-development book?
For me, I'm not much of a reader. Everything I do is Audible. So I listen to all like Tony Robbins stuff, or, I did Audible, Chasing the Lion. Actually, that's a phenomenal book. Still haven't finished it yet, but Think and Grow Rich, that one's tough to listen to Audible. But what I do is take away, I'm a note taker. So I take as many notes as I possibly can, like I say, and then just turn them into a story, however I relate to it. But so I do a lot of Audible. But so yeah, Chasing the Lion was a phenomenal book. Chad Kneller had referred me to that book a year ago. And then also Think and Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich was referred to us for like the past 5 years by about seriously 500,000 people. Just everybody says Think and Grow Rich.
Good book. It definitely is.
Yeah. That one, so here's the thing, you get asked that question, what's the best book? You ask everybody, what's your best book? And when you start to hear a quote or you start to hear a book over and over and over again, there's probably a key behind it. You've had all these different leaders that have told you to dig into it. So yeah, and that was it. Chad Kneller recommended the Chase, and then the Think and Grow Rich. Like I said, we just heard that so many times. And then as far as network marketing, the core of network marketing, the GoPro book, I think just covers so many phenomenal basics of this business. But for me, like I say, I do a lot of YouTube videos. My YouTube videos are all, Tony Robbins, Les Brown. For any of you that know Todd Falcone, he's a phenomenal professional network marketer. Yeah. So let's see what else. Jim Rohn's phenomenal. Love all the big name guys. That's who I follow.
Natalie is actually friends with Todd Falcone on Facebook. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, he's part of a network marketing group that we're a part of, and he's reached out, and that's the same thing, and that's what I've learned. When you get around entrepreneurs that are like-minded, man, it just doesn't matter what their level of success is. Like, they're just because they know in order for them to be successful, you have to help people. You have to share that knowledge. The very first thing he said to her, she sent him a friend request. He accepted her, and he goes, I hope you and Johnny are doing awesome. If you guys ever have any questions or need anything, don't ever hesitate to reach out. We're not even in the same company. This guy is a guy that's got a downline of 500,000 people.
Yeah,
super dope. I know. I was like, dude, Todd Falcone, awesome. Oh yeah, and she just screamed it. He knows Pam Souter very well. Yeah.
Kind of sounds like Ty Lopez.
Ty Lopez isn't bad. He's a little bit different. He gets paid a little bit differently. He gets paid for clickbaiting, for adding, for putting links and soliciting. But Ty Lopez isn't bad. Josh, next one. Hang on, I want to meet real quick. I don't know who just jumped.
Actually, if you don't mind, I actually just started. I just signed up for this company yesterday.
Yeah.
Through Justin, and I'm trying to figure out how to even start. So
Yeah, I'll make sure that we cover some questions for you, brother. That's not a problem. Not a problem. We'll make sure that we cover that for you. Given your success right now, obviously you're continuing to do self-development and whatnot. When you were starting, what do you feel like was the most crucial leadership skill to get yourself started? Like when you were kind of stepping into that leadership role for the first time, what do you feel was the most crucial leadership skill to possess, or the one that you felt was the master that you needed to put more emphasis in at first? Because obviously leadership is something that is developed over time.
Well, actually, like coming into it, I'll tell you, like I'll just share like a struggle at first was so my wife was the one that like really got us to where we were at when I joined. You know, at that point, I hadn't been a big part of the business. I blitzed. I shared this company, you know, with a ton of people or whatever. I brought in distributors and customers, but you know, she was the base. She was the core of the business. It wasn't until I stepped away from my job that I was out there actually doing this thing, you know, on my own, really, like truly building the business. So it was really tough for me to all of a sudden show up to a team meeting and be looked at as some big leader or something like that. Bottom line, that was a personal development issue. I needed to get over that, right? I need to believe in myself and understand that I have something to offer everybody. But the next thing is with leadership, all it is just understanding that you're going to lead from the front. You're not just going to talk the talk. You're going to be out there and showing them, right? So it's for me, as far as leadership, like stepping into it, I just needed to be on my game, on my toes, ready to roll. I needed, you know, like when somebody asks a question, I need to have an answer. So yeah, and I can't tell people to do something that I'm not doing. So it means that I need to have action, daily freaking goal achieving action. But yeah, so just displaying the leadership more so than talking about it.
Sure. I think that's huge. You know, you want to lead by example essentially. And that is very, very crucial. Lead by example and taking action. That's for sure. Do you feel that what do you feel is the best tool? I'm trying to think exactly how I wanted to word it. What do you think is the best tool for signing a loyal customer? And then vice versa, I'll ask you the same question for a distributor. What do you feel is the best tool for actually signing them?
Best tool for signing a loyal customer?
Yep.
It's cutting out a little bit there.
Yeah, best tool for signing a loyal customer.
Awesome. If you want customers, you need to show people that you're using the product. If you want to sign distributors, you need to show people that you're crazy about this opportunity. So as far as a loyal customer, for me, it was, you know, just showing that I'm using the product. We are lifestyle posters. So everybody on Facebook knows that my family uses greens daily because I post greens like daily. It doesn't mean that I say, hey, look at me, I'm drinking greens. But if we want loyal customers, our loyal customers come from all the posts. They see it in every one of the background, one of our pictures is one of the products. And then showing people your testimony, you know, how do you feel about these products? You started taking them, using them or whatever. How do you feel about it? So sharing with what these products are doing for you in your life. We can post all day long about other people's results and telling our network what these products have done for other people. But people, you know, if they're going to buy from you, they need to trust you first. They want to hear your story. What have these products done for you? So, and you don't have to be fake about it. Just be real. Find a product and fall in love with it. You know, for me, the very first product I used was Confianza. Crystal's like, Josh, you have too much going on in your life. You know, the stress level you're at right now, dude, Confianza would be perfect for you. I was one of those people that just like overloaded my schedule. You could throw anything on my plate and I'd accept it. You know, at one point I was full-time pipe fitter, night school, joined the fire department, brand new baby at home. And so, I mean, I was go, and just turned into a major stress case. And that wasn't my natural character or whatever. I just overloaded myself. But yeah, Confianza was my game changer product. That's what made me a believer in supplements. So to have a supplement actually come into my life and work, dude, I was going to tell people about it. You know, if I bite into a cheeseburger at a restaurant, I'm going to tell somebody it's dang good. Why not tell people that this Confianza deal or whatever, like, holy smokes, man, like the headaches I used to get, they don't happen anymore. And I'm way more relaxed and focused than I've ever been. Same thing with the greens, the amount of energy, you know, like a busy person like that, you come home to your kids and they want to play. how the heck are you supposed to give your kids your full attention and be active with them and ready to run around, rip around with your little kids if you gave your all at work for the day or wherever you were at? So the greens were phenomenal for energy. So if you want loyal customers, you need to give your personal testimony. That's, I think, the number one.
Do you have any tips for avoiding burnout? That burnout sensation.
Avoiding, what was that?
Do you have any tips for avoiding burnout? I feel like that's one of the questions. I probably get asked that like 3 or 4 times a day from people. Like, dude, how do you avoid burnout? Like, what do you do to avoid going into management mode? But how do you, like? It's always, everyone always assumes that it's management mode. And there's 100 different things that cause you to get burned out. But what do you feel is a solid tip for avoiding burnout? Your personal.
I understand. There's a few things to say about this. So burnout happens when you start doing what's not fun in this business. You joined it for a reason. Maybe you started seeing success with something you were doing at the beginning, but then you switched it up. You started doing what somebody else is doing, and it was working for them, but it just isn't working for you. And so you're pounding away, just head against the wall, tearing it up day after day, just grinding, doing something that isn't working. The goal shouldn't change, but sometimes the strategy's gotta. And sometimes you need to go back to the basics of why you started, what you were doing when you first got started, and what you're kind of like, where's your passion at? So if you're doing things that aren't fun, the business is going to become not fun, right? So you got to have fun in this business. The next thing to say is there's seasons in the business. Sometimes it's jamming. Sometimes sometimes it feels like you can't quit with the leads. Like they're just popping. You got people messaging you all day, and it's phenomenal. And it's like, man, this is crazy. It's awesome. But then there's seasons where it's like, oh my gosh, like I had like 3 people like my post today, and I haven't had anybody, like all these leads that I've messaged, they're just not getting back to me, the whole winter thing. There's seasons in everybody's business and everybody's life, but, and winter's unavoidable. But, I just heard this from Tony Robbins the other day. Winter's unavoidable, but some people grab a snowboard and hit the slopes. So that's just it. When your business isn't fun anymore, it's time to make it fun. When it's winter, you need to freaking get out there and do something that's more fun. For me, I'm a talker. So for me, grinding on social media just truthfully isn't my ideal. It's not my personality. When Crystal and I are going at it, just grinding and messaging people all day or whatever, I'd way rather be outside. And so for me, I need to understand if I ever am on that the burnout deal or whatever, then I need to get the heck out of the house, throw on some It Works gear and go socialize with people. I just need to get out, go meet people, talk with people, and then they're going to say, hey, what the heck's this It Works thing? What's that all about? Or I've heard about that. What is that? And so that's where I need to get out and socialize and have some fun. So if you catch yourself in burnout mode, it's because you're doing something you don't enjoy. Get out there and do something you enjoy about, like whatever it is, switch it up. Make sure you're enjoying your business.
I agree. I'm writing that down. That's a good little relay for the team for sure. Yeah. Cause it is huge. And I feel kind of just following up with what you said there too. I feel that a lot of times burnout comes from poor customer retention because, again, like what you're saying, you end up doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, and you're doing it to get the same result, but you're doing the same thing over, and you start to get frustrated, so to speak. If you're building for a promotion and you're not retaining customers and you're filling, you're signing 10 customers a month, but you've got 10 declines a month and you're having to refill them, you're doing the same work over and over, it causes you to somewhat get burnt out. So I can totally understand how it's when you're not having fun at what your business, because that would cause anybody to get frustrated. That would push you into management mode, so to speak, and get you kind of being on top of those distributors more or less to make sure that they're doing it. So guys, you do definitely want to avoid management mode. And when you're in management mode, it's not fun. I will definitely say that. When you're in management mode, it's not fun. There's nothing fun about it. Nobody likes a boss. Nobody likes a boss. And when you got to be a boss and you portray yourself as that, you definitely it comes off as, not fun, so to speak. So, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Where did that question just go? Talk about the importance of events. You signed from an event too. Definitely talk about the importance of events. I feel they're huge. Real big. Can't get enough events. All
right. So events are probably, I'm gonna plug into a charger here just a second. All right. So events are probably the biggest part of this business because there's no such thing as a freaking like college or a course for to become a professional network marketer, right? So where are you going to learn about this thing? And you know what? Our passion in this business comes from belief. You know, we're not going to be willing to go out and share something we don't believe in. And so our newbies that are coming in, if we're not promoting them to get to an event and to learn more about this thing, where the heck, you know, where's their belief going to end up coming from? Or what are they going to do when they're in a rut? So here we are, we're at the event, we're getting jacked up, meeting people that are just pumped up, you know, feeling the same passion for and drive for the same things we have or whatever. And you meet them, people become friends with on Facebook or whatever, and they're the ones that are going to lift you up and inspire you every day. There's so much to say about events. You know, Mark Pentecost, we were in a leadership meeting or whatever, and he says, you know, we're as distributors, we're paid to do just a few things, and it's sign distributors, sign LCs, and get to events, right? So that's what he said to us. And it's so true. And you know, like big network marketers or whatever, like Todd Falcone, all these other guys, they'll tell you if you can recruit, that's phenomenal. But if you can get your team to events, that's where like the true residual income is at. Because if you can get your team to events, that's where it's where major belief is built. For me, going back in my story, I told Crystal, like, you know, this business, how freaking pathetic. You know, you're telling me you're supposed to go pop these pills or put on a wrap and you can avoid the gym or whatever. But here I was, dude, she could have said whatever she wanted to me and I would not have believed one bit of it, but I also wouldn't have been open to hearing it. I was too stubborn. There's people out there that still think that the wrap is for weight loss, you know? So it was getting to an event is where you're going to gain your knowledge and that knowledge is going to build belief. So just a huge deal to be at an event. So yeah, once you get there, Dr. Don's going to hop up on stage. He's going to fill you with like kind of I'll call it like a dumbed down version of product knowledge, you know, so we can understand it. So that was just huge for me to have him up there and kind of talk about what these products are and what they're doing. Just loved it. I filled up like probably 6 pages of notes at my very first event. I was just so pumped, loved it. Mike Patillo's passion and he's kind of more of like the business side of it, you know, how to build your business or whatever. Love and he's just on fire, right? So I was just pumped. I was freaking jacked, truthfully. I'm thinking back to my first event. And now Crystal and I, you know, we've been in the business for 7 years. So we still go to these events and, you know, we're going to green carpet here in another month. And the thing is all of us, you start to find out, like, even though we've been in the business for 7 years, we start to find out that we actually need them. We need them to keep our fire. We need them to keep us going, right? But I'm telling you what, more than anything, seeing Mark Pentecost and City Pentecost up on stage and realizing how real of people they are, how good of people they are, and then understand, like, trying to wrap your head around how big of a vision this guy has is absolutely crazy. You know, the first conference Crystal and I went to, there's probably 2,000 people there. And it was in this convention center, but we didn't fill it. You know, there was, you know, like the sectioned off, you know, areas of the convention center or whatever. So we were in a smaller area and we got to, you know, hear the ambassador speeches. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is so freaking crazy. What happened to that family's life or whatever, you know? This company completely changes people's lives, hearing them stories. Some relate with those stories, you know, a couple of them jerk a couple tears out of your eyes or whatever. And I was like, my God, what if that happened for us? And you start to believe, like, you know, if they can freaking do it, I can do it, right? They're telling it's a relatable story. I can do that. So it's absolutely insane. Back to Mark Pentecost's vision. So like, maybe it was the first conference. Like I said, there's probably 2,000 or 3,000 people there. He says, you know, he has a dream of one day filling up an arena. Well, what happened last year? You know, not only did this company go through like, you know, everybody knows now that Mark Pentecost went through the big C or whatever. So major health issues this past year. And I'm telling you what, you want to see true leadership. That's a guy that in times of freaking like illness, he held on to his vision, and he crushed it and went ahead and booked an arena, and we filled the damn arena because he said it was going to happen and he stuck to it. So, but yeah, events are absolutely powerful. So much to say. I wouldn't be sitting here with an It Works shirt on and out here sharing this business if it wasn't for events. I'll tell you, the first event I showed up to, Crystal was recognized for being one of the first presidentials and top 100 and all that. So we went to Dash. That was my first event. So there I am with a bunch of leaders, and we're hanging out with Mark Pentecost, smoking stogies and all that on a golf course, which is totally not who I am. But anyway, all these guys are wearing It Works gear, and they did a big like It Works huddle or whatever for all the guys that were rewired. And I'm like, what the hell is fired. And then I found out, I'm like, these guys quit their job. Are they nuts? And I'm like, there's no way. So anyway, like I say, they're all wearing this It Works gear. I was wearing a blue shirt. I'll tell you what, my closet has nothing in it right now except for It Works gear. I swore up and down to Chris, I'll never be one of those It Works nerds wearing all the It Works gear. And here I am, just like the biggest geek in the world. But I'm telling you what, this company's done so much for my family that I'm gonna share this to no end, right?
I'm over here saying the same thing.
That's what I have for events.
Bro, I'm like red and black have been my colors forever. Now it's like I'm over here and I'm like, man, I don't even want to leave the house unless I got an It Works shirt on. Like I just don't want to. And she's in there. I can hear her in there yelling. Yeah, it's funny because we
get paid to wear the gear, man.
Yeah, like man, you get like I don't. This is what you don't realize if you don't have a shirt. I'm trying to think who it was. Okay, so there was a. Actually, I'm sure you probably know who they are. Jess and Chris Siegler. They used to be with us. They were on Carrie's downline. Chris told me, he said, when I started, I had this one shirt. And when I say I wore this shirt everywhere, I mean I wore it 7 days a week. I wore it. It was my one It Works shirt, and I would wear it everywhere. And people would be like, dude, weren't you just wearing that shirt? He's like, I would take it home. I would wash it. I would wear it the next day. But you get people that are asking you questions. He's like, I didn't want to never not have the shirt on. And I didn't understand it because I had just started. And I remember we were out blitzing one day, and he was like, he was like, dude, you got to get you some shirts. You got to get you some shirts. Get them. And I'm like, nah, I ain't never going to be one of those guys that wears those shirts. Sure enough, I'm over here, and I'm like, yo, Natalie, we can just – I guess when we go to Green Carpet, we just need to, like, shop. I need to buy, like, 10 shirts for sure. It's necessary. It's a marketing tool. You got to have it. Yep. No, you got to have it. You have any advice for the new distributors? Anybody that's just getting started with the company?
If you're just getting started, I'll tell you what, number one thing is like, I said it earlier, you can't teach somebody that already knows everything, right? If they know it all, how the heck are we supposed to teach them anything? So get out there and ask questions, even if you think it's a dumb question, or even if you think you already know the answer. Like I'll tell you, when I was a Minneapolis pipe fitter, there's 100 ways to fix something, right? Or replace something, but I would get the job done, and then I would call a foreman and say, hey, just whatever, blah, 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 blah. I popped this in, this and this and that. But I just wanted to see how you would have done it. You know, have you came across the same project before or done the same job? And he starts at square one, and he tells me exactly how he would have done it. And I'm like, oh, that's great. That's awesome or whatever, you know? But it's powerful because there's more, I don't know, it's good to pick apart, like, you know, this is a guy that's been in the trade forever, right? So he's going to know the best way, the fastest way. When you reach out to your leader, they've probably came across the same question you have or problems you have 100 times, if not 1,000 times. You're not going to stump them, but you have to ask the question in order for you to come up with that answer. So to sit there and you know, I just heard this or whatever. If somebody has what you want and is willing to share how they've got it, and freaking ask them, take that knowledge, dude. Don't reinvent the wheel. If somebody has what you want and is willing to share with you how they got it, you need to listen. So get out there, ask them questions, find somebody that inspires you, find somebody who's got what you want and do what they do. That's for all you new people or whatever, you know. There's something in this business called like the cool aunt or the cool uncle. And I'll relate it like this. You know, like Crystal and I or whatever, ambassador leaders, we do, you know, team Zooms weekly, monthly team meetings, all this stuff. We've talked to some of the same people for 7 years now, people that have stuck with us, and they keep hearing the same thing over and over and over again from us or whatever. Now it's not powerful to them anymore. They've already heard it. It's been beat up. But something that we say routinely, maybe once a month, somebody else will say, maybe Johnny hops on and he has a live video. He says exactly what we say, And they're like, oh my gosh, I just listened to the most amazing Zoom or whatever, most amazing live video. Johnny just blew it up. And I'm like, oh, really? What did he say? And I'm like, we have said the same damn thing for like 7 years now, and you're just getting it. But I'm telling you. So here's the thing. Just if you're new in this business, make friends. Make friends. The people in this business, I haven't met a bad one yet. Let's just say that. There's phenomenal leaders in this company. It attracts phenomenal people. So get out there, find people that have what you want. Get out there and find people that inspire you and ask them questions. It doesn't have to be your upline. It can be a sideline. It can be anybody. Just make more friends in this company and start doing what other people are doing to become successful.
What do you guys do differently now than you did whenever you first started?
So something that's pretty powerful that we heard from actually John Maxwell, at the end of each year, do a review and write down what you wouldn't ever do again. And it's like, it ends up coming back. It always comes back to management mode stuff. It always comes back to management mode. So kind of go through, maybe, that's why it's so important to take notes, because you'll kind of like be able to reflect on the year, date your notes, or, it sounds pathetic, but a journal, date where you're at, and then reflect on that year. Go through your calendar. Sometimes even going through your calendar, here's the month of June. What do we have going on? And you start to like see your different rap events, rap parties, team meetings, blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden you just get these little triggers or whatever. Oh, I remember that. But it's your review, right? It's at the end of the year. You look back and say, oh my gosh, that meeting didn't go that well. Why not? Like it was awful or something. Or, that Zoom, it wasn't, it wasn't what it should have been. Or, oh man, I remember talking to that lead. And so at the end of each year, we reflect, never do that again. All to be better, take apart this, have back. Oh man, never forget that distributor or whatever. He really wanted it. He kept saying he really wanted it. And so you let them there two into them. And
Josh, you're cutting out. Just cut out.
Us burning up 2 months of our business freaking with. Oh.
Josh, you're cutting out.
Any better?
Nah, hang on. I can't hear. Your screen's frozen too.
Any luck?
There, I can hear you now. I can definitely hear you now. Are you talking? Right. Okay, there you go.
We're good?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can see you.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. No, you're good. Last thing I heard was you were just talking about picking apart the changes.
So I was talking about it. I believe just reflecting on the past year. We reflect on the past year and we say, oh man, I would never do that again, and remove those things. Never going to be solid. They're never coming up again, right? So that's one thing that I think that the original question is like one thing that you did wrong or something. But it always comes back to management mode. It usually is. It's that we're not putting in the activity. 1 foot in front of the other, goal achieving activity. Sometimes you get caught up, like you said it, somebody, and I've already said it forever, the management mode thing. So yeah, just constant activity, and that's really it.
Sure. Do you how do you guys determine who a leader is and somebody that you actually want to pour into? Because naturally when people get started, you want to pour into everybody, but there's ways of eliminating who is wasting your time and who you want to spend your time with. What are certain things that you guys in particular look for as far as on knowing who to spend your time with? Kind of show up to go up, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. All right. So yeah, there's a huge thing there. And this kind of comes from the last question too. So Crystal got to presidential without any, let's say upline, without any upline, knowledge or any upline, nobody's pouring into her or whatever. She had nothing for, information coming from anybody. The lady that signed up 2 months prior to her. She's phenomenal, and we thank God that she blitzed her that day and brought Crystal into this business, right? But so Crystal had no idea what network marketing was, how to build, how to chart, how to network. She had nothing. And I'll tell you that everything that came from corporate, they were completely against placing. Corporate, when you went to an event or got on a back at that time, it was a conference call. They said everything goes in the front line. Everything goes in the front line. Place wide. Place wide, that's where the big money is. Place wide, never place deep. So they were like all the old school people were completely against placing. So she built her business to presidential 100% by placing frontline or whatever. It was just organically built, and it made for a phenomenal business. Here we are today. We're happy with where we're at. But I'll tell you what, we would have been ambassador within a year if we would have not placed. But here we are 7 years later, happy as heck. Who cares? But I'll tell you what we learned from it, and it's that I think this goes into the question you just asked.
Yeah.
Who do you work with? We found out that the cream of the crop rises to the top. It doesn't matter where you place. You know, the cream of the crop freaking rises to the top. There's people that we have that have built, that we've ended up finding 9 levels beneath us who have compressed up. But because they showed excitement, Crystal reached out and said, hey, what's happening? You're tearing this thing up. So that's just it. There's people that you're going to fall in love with, or, you know, we have big hearts. Like, you just, bottom line, we do. We fall in love with it. We're in this business for friendships at the end of the day, you know?
Sure.
There's people that we truly fell in love with. We consider them family. We want it so damn for them, but if they don't want it for themselves, it's just not going to happen. You know, we can call them, we can message them, we can have them over to our house, we can do meetings, trainings, 3-way calls, we can do the whole works. But until they believe in themselves, until they want it for themselves, it just isn't going to happen. So you can beat that to the moon and back, and it just isn't going to happen. But I'll tell you what, I'll tell you who the people that are going to appreciate your time. See, here's what happens in this business. There's people that you're sitting there, you got all your focus on, all your attention on, you want it so bad for them. But right behind you is somebody waving their hands, and they're signing DTs, signing LCs, but all they want is a mentor, somebody to turn around and recognize them. Dude, recognition in this business goes so far. For you to turn around to them and say, hey, you know, congrats on signing that LC last week or whatever, or congrats on signing that LC and DT today or whatever. When you start rooting for those people and working with them, dude, it is just going to like light their fire. So we work with the fire, definitely. There's people that we want it for, and we still work with them. We push for them, but we froze again.
No, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So I was just saying, yeah, we work with the people that are on fire, the ones that are getting it done. And then the next thing is plugging in. You know, we talked about the importance of events, but the importance of plugging in. Who's getting on the Zooms? You said at the very beginning, oh man, they're going to hear about this because they're not on. We work with the people that are getting on the Zooms, the people that are active on the team page, messaging on the team page, or you know, just chipping in and sharing an inspiration and asking questions on the team page. If they're active on the team page, if they're getting to our monthly meetings, if they're local, and if they're getting on our Zooms, them are the ones that are going to get our attention. If they message us, we're going to get back to them.
Sure. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. Yeah. I mean, I'm just going to be quiet because there's a million things I can say about that. Yeah. I wholeheartedly, I agree with everything you're saying. Yeah. It's like it is though. It's at the end of the day, especially red personality types, we get attached to everybody that comes in. Like I want every single person on my team to be a millionaire. That's what I want for you. But the fact that they don't want it for themselves, I mean, sometimes you can't do anything about it. And you can motivate people you can inspire people to the moon and back. But guess what? At the end of the day, you can't motivate anybody. And that's just how it is, you know? Mm-hmm. All right, we do. I'm asking you 2 more questions, and then we'll kind of wrap it up. Where did that list go? Hold on. I just wrote down a question. Oh, can you give us some? Because you do like talking to people. Your blitz tips. Any blitz tips?
Blitz tips. All right. So my blitzing started, like I said, right after I found my belief in the business, the belief in the company, the belief in the products or whatever I was willing to share, because, you know, I started to see that this thing was changing my family's life. So I'm a social person. It was no big deal for me to hand somebody a blitz card because of that. You know, I was like, man, if just one of these blitz cards could do something for somebody that it's done for me, that would be pretty amazing. So I had no problem doing it. For the passion I had with the company, and then also because I am kind of a social person, I don't mind talking to people or whatever. So that's how it started. Was just like all I do is get them the card or whatever. Hey, you know, I'm trying to help my wife out, or you know, that was one that I used. I carry it around or whatever. For me, it was I had a service folder at the end of each service call. I had you know, the front desk person, receptionist or whatever, sign off on my service sheet. And you know, it was usually a girl or whatever. So have them sign off and hand them a business card and let them know that, hey, you know, I'm with this phenomenal company. It's completely changed my family's life. If you're interested, you know, all of our information's on there. But Crystal and I, over the years, have changed our blitzing process. For us, we say if it's somebody that we can't create like a good conversation with, if it's something that we can't like build a friendship out of or whatever, if it's like, you know, you're in line or whatever, and it's just going to be a quick blitz, then we get them a business card no matter what. But if there's somebody that we can connect with and there's somebody that we can create a good conversation with, then we're going to do whatever we can to grow that like friendship. We try to create friendships, and then we ask them, hey, are you on Facebook? So that's our big blitz. But I tell you what, if you can get them on Facebook and they can kind of see like, oh, wow, they got kids, or he's into hunting, fishing, or whatever, blah 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 blah. They start to see your life and they start to see your real person. Because in this business, people aren't just buying the product; they're buying you. So if they trust you and believe in you and believe that you're a good, truthful, honest person or whatever, if they can see that through Facebook, I'll tell you what, man, that's been key in our business over the past. We probably brought that in over the past year and a half now. We've kind of taken, I wouldn't say we've taken blitzing out of it, but we'll do whatever we can to try to get them on Facebook.
Yeah, I feel like Facebook's key. I do. I'm very, very similar on that. I'll just give them my phone and be like, "Hey, are you on Facebook? Can you?" And you just already have it already pulled up with the search menu. And they'll 99% of the time, actually, I'm going to be honest with you, 100% of the time, I don't think I've ever had anybody that hasn't. They'll just add themselves real quick on Facebook because it doesn't come off as, "Hey, give me your cell phone number." Like it doesn't come off as, "Hey, give me your information." And then you don't even got to pitch them the business because immediately they're going to add you, and you know what they're going to do? They're going to go scrolling through that Facebook. They're going to see what you're all about. Yep. I definitely agree with that.
Yep.
So
I'll just tell you quick on the quick blitz thing. Like I said, the quick blitz is somebody that, like I said, you can't stir up a conversation with because it's going to be a quick one or whatever. And I'll tell you, I'm a social person, and I'll just be straight up honest. I'll be even a little bit just out there, awkward, whatever. So I'll run clear across the gas pumps or whatever over to somebody. If I see somebody that comes in, I'm like, man, I just got a feeling about them. They'd be phenomenal in this business. I'll whip out a business card, run clear across gas pumps or whatever, and I'll say, hey, these products, whatever, this business, absolutely amazing. If you're interested, here's my information. It's just a quick blitz. I get them the card. So I do stuff like that as well. Crystal makes fun of me for it. Or, we'll be sitting at a red light and I roll down my window or whatever, got a blitz card out the window. Like, hey, have you heard of It Works before? So, I do off the wall stuff like that too. If that's your personality, go with it. Just go with it. Because if you can crack a smile out of somebody, that's a connection, right? So, if you can do something that they're going to remember you by. So that's something else that I try to put in with the blitzing.
Sure. When do you feel is the best time? When do you feel is the best time for an up and coming leader to kind of step away and create their own systems of leverage, so to speak?
Their own system as far as what?
Leverage, groups, stuff like that. That's a common one that I get asked.
We've been doing this business for 7 years, and I will tell you that sticking with the excitement is where it's at. So we do one team page, and we've told some of the leaders that were like, oh, I'm a diamond now, or I'm double diamond now, or I'm triple diamond now. We're going to take our team and we're going to go over here. Well, what they did was they took their team away from the excitement. I'll tell you, it's a very bad idea. If you got a good, solid team page and there's excitement there, or here's the next thing. If you think you're a leader, then step up on the team page and become a bigger, stronger, more inspirational leader on that team page. Be the one that sticks out. Be the one that's involved. Be the one that's inspiring people on that page. When you take your team and separate them from the excitement, we've seen people's businesses crumble because they took their team away from the excitement. Groups create excitement. There's more wisdom in a big page than there is in this little rinky-dink page that you're going to start up because you're a triple diamond now, or you're a double diamond now, or you're a diamond now. So I'm telling you, stick with the excitement.
And last, do you have any tips at all for just any last minute nuggets or anything that you just kind of want to touch on?
Yeah. This is something that's pretty powerful that, just like the top 10 people in this business, how did they get there? What does it really come down to? And they have the same products as us. They're in the same opportunity, right? But they don't make any excuses. They've accepted responsibility for everything they've done right up to this point. Even for their failures, they accepted responsibility, they made a change and they fixed it, and they continued on their journey to success. So I'm just telling you right now that you can make as many excuses as you want, but the product, the opportunity, they freaking worked, right? It's been proven. It's just that you're caught up in your excuses. So get over yourself, follow the people that are getting it done, take responsibility for where you're at, no matter where you're at. But yeah, just that's it. If you want to go to the top, accept responsibility for where you're at, cut the excuses, and follow people that are getting it done.
I will agree with that all day long. I would definitely agree with that. Let me make sure that we didn't have any questions in the chat. Make sure that nobody else said anything. And I do not. No, I don't see anything. Okay, perfect. All right. Well, guys, so that's pretty much it. Yeah, I mean, if anybody has any questions, if you guys want to drop your questions, I'll give you like 30 seconds real quick to drop a question. If anybody has anything that they would like to ask Josh, or you can just unmute yourself really fast. Other than that, I do definitely appreciate it. Very much so, sir. We are looking forward to meeting you guys at Green Carpet. Yeah, man, that's for sure. So,
If you don't mind me asking,
yeah,
what is the Green Carpet?
Josh, you want to answer?
All right, so Green Carpet. So you might not know what conference is either, or like boot camps or any of that. So conference is our biggest event of the year. Every year, I believe February, is conference, and that's like the It Works, like just it's an unreal event. Green Carpet is like probably it's a mini conference. So what's going to be at it's extremely high energy. It's a bunch of like-minded people that are pushing for the same thing. They want to become successful in this business, and they're ready to learn more about it. So they go there to get filled up, to learn more about this business or whatever. So what's going to happen is corporate comes together, puts on this big event. They put, the top earners in the company up on stage to give business building tips. They put Dr. Don, different corporate people up there for product knowledge. And then Mike and Pam Souter for business building tips as well. But so it's just a phenomenal It Works event. You're going to hear from Mark Pentecost and more of the It Works story. Where did this thing come from? What's the vision for the future? And then at big events like this, they usually release new products, and new products blow this freaking business up. New products, new promotions, bonuses. But so it's just, here's one big thing about events that I didn't say earlier. If you expect your team to be at events, if you expect your team to build their business, then you need to be at the event. If you expect them to hop on calls, then you need to be on the calls, that whole thing, right? So if you get to Green Carpet, if you get to these events, your team is going to follow along. They're going to say, what's this whole thing about? So that's a lot of where some of our business building has came from. Like, you and Crystal are traveling all the time. You're going to where? Siesta Key. So we've been going to Siesta Key for like the past 5 years now. Every year in July or whatever, every year for Green Carpet, we go to Siesta Key, and so yeah, it's usually a 2-day event, and corporate's up there, and they're just building your belief in this company, sharing more about the business.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting. Yeah, I think it was. I'm trying to think who it was that said it. It was either Chad Kanneller, and they said it on one of our Zooms here that we just had. It's either Chad or it was Joel, but he said the key, and for some odd reason I'm thinking that it's Joel is what sticks out in my head. He said whenever what their goal was to get 100 people to an event, and I'm actually, now that I think about it, no, it wasn't Joel, it was Chad. He said that their goal was to get 100 people to an event, and he knew that year when they got Chad Kanneller.
Yep.
Yeah. He said if you get 100 people to an event from your team, you will go ambassador that year. If you can have one event, just one event, and have 100 people from your team show up, I swear to God, you will go ambassador like that. And he goes, dude, sure enough, our very first event, we pushed. We had a group of people that showed up, and then it was like our second or our third event that we went to. We had 100 people that showed up to that event, and we ended up going ambassador that year. And when you hear that, it's like, man, because you and we're proof in the pudding. You show up to events and you get lit, like your energy level. There's just something about getting a group of like-minded people together. The energy is contagious, and all you want to do is just, you get fired up. You get fired up to no ending, so to speak. It's just, you leave out of there and you're going to go ambassador that day. For real.
Yeah.
So, all right. If anybody I don't think I've seen any other questions. Check the chat one more time. No. Perfect. All right. Well, guys, I definitely appreciate it. Thank you, Josh, for joining us. I do appreciate it. And again, we look forward to seeing you guys at Green Carpet. I'm